Right, finally I managed to get a circuit board that came out perfectly with finally I managed to get a circuit board that came out perfectly. I've just cut it with some nail varnish. Actually, it's diluted just to stop any corrosion, but let me get it to focus. Come on, focus. Right, anyway, I only had to make one repair and it was right there. Only one. There was just one break, so I soldered it across with a little bridge right about there. You can see it. That was the only one. I actually caught the other track as well, but there was nothing wrong with that. The track above it. It was the bottom one that had a little crack. But apart from that, my coils on my board are perfect. I did touch them up before I etched them, so you can see a few dabs, little dots where I dabbed it just to make sure. But a lot less. The other ones they were covered in dabs, and you can see in this one virtually no touch-up areas at all, and no breaks. Yeah, the bottom coil has no breaks at all. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. So get you to focus again. Come on, focus on the meter. So if I put my meter, how do I do this with one hand? This is always a catch. Trying to get the meter probe. Let's see, get it on there. Oh, hang on, can't do it like this. Let's pretend I'm holding chopsticks. That will work. I can't even hold chopsticks. Right, that's the far end one there. That's the middle one there. 1.1 ohms. And the distance between this one goes all the way down to that coil down this end. So let's put one there. Put one there. I've got varnish on there now, so there. Hang on. There we go. 0.6 ohms. So that's working too. And the one on the top, the one I repaired between there and there, 0.6. Oops, it slipped. 0.6. Anyway, so between there and the middle, the far end of the coil, which is there and there, we have 1.2 ohms. Right. So yeah, I'm happy with that. We've finally got two boards that are going to be usable, and I painted it with nail varnish remover because I wanted to make sure that there was no more damage to it and everything. And if I do accidentally scratch it, it'll show up more because the track's it's quite thick really. It's the width, it's the narrow gauge really that's the issue. So anyway, so the previous ones, let me just show you what a disaster they were. So now, as you remember, if you look at my previous video, the problem was the end tracks. This is the one that failed. The end tracks were just etching too thinly. I mean, look at that. You look at the track there, right? See how thin it is? It just literally disappears at one point, right on the end there. It fades away just as it comes up to that big pad. Right there. If I can get it to focus. In the middle there somewhere. I can't get it to focus now. Right, you can see where the track fades away. I can't point to it because I'm holding the phone, the camera, but you can see the tracks were really thin on the end there, and they widen out as it go inwards. And the tracks on the inside were fine. It was just the edges there. This is why I decided to thicken the tracks up on the end, because look how thin they are there. Really, really, really thin. And I probably etched it a bit too long maybe. But I had to etch it because the middle part still had copper to etch away in the middle. But you can see how thin they were. So by widening up the tracks on the new one, which is this one, you'll see that the copper is, come on, focus. You see the copper's a lot thicker there now. It's not as thin, but the middle is still thin. So they balance out now. It pretty much balances out. Let's shine the light. Actually, let me shine the light on the back of it so you can see through the light directly through the board. Right, you can see now the middle section. If you compare the thickness of the track, ignoring the nail varnish which I'll stick on there, you'll see that the actual edges, the outside ones, are actually a little bit thicker now than they were before. So that's sort of sorted that problem out where they were getting too thin. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. Sorry about the nail varnish, it's a mess, I know, but I didn't have any clay varnish. I really wanted to put some clay varnish. This is the previous one that was a disaster. It had too many breaks. It had breaks everywhere. This one had breaks everywhere. Doesn't get the light on it. Get it to focus as well. But it had breaks all over the place, and it was too thin as well. So anyway, but I'll still keep these as a reference. I mean, it just too fiddly to repair them all, you know, trying to bridge them with wires. I did have a go bridging them with wires, but if you look, it just ended up being a mess. You can see where I bridged them there with some wire. And yeah, it just started to get messy. So anyway, that's why I did the new one, which I'm happy with. Yeah, it's a lot better than before. Yeah, that's better view with the light reflecting off there of the copper. So oops, I nearly slipped then. Right, so next stage is to drill it and then start adding some capacitors. Oh yeah, I've got to make the little switch that's going to go on this board. I've got to make a switch. Well, it's a switch that will basically move from one tapping point to the next tapping point. And because this board is so thin, it is about 0.3 millimeters, some thickness, 0.4 millimeters thick. It's so thin, it's bendy, look. What I need to do really is to stick this board onto something a bit thicker, so it's a little bit more rigid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a bit of cardboard, a bit of stiff cardboard, and glue it onto the cardboard, then drill it. Because yeah, it is floppy, it is very thin, and it wasn't really designed as a circuit board. It was some kind of screening stuff I got off eBay. It's really cheap. That's the reason why I don't mind wasting a bit of it. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this onto a base, onto a thicker piece of card or something. Or actually, come to think of it, if I just etch the rest of this copper off this board here, I could stick two of these back to back and make it thicker that way. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, so if I just cut two of these off here, the top two off there, and glue them on the back of there, and etch the rest of that copper off, then I would effectively have a thicker board. Why not do that? Yeah. Why not use the fiberglass itself? Because fiberglass is stronger than cardboard, and it'll look better as well. So yeah, I can do that. Anyway, just a little update on the situation and where we are at. And I'll probably etch the rest of the copper off this one. Actually, might as well. There's not much left on there anyway. Just have a clean piece, and then I can stick that directly on the back of that one. Yeah. Might as well, because that's a failure anyway. You can see there's no copper left hardly on the coil. So yeah, I just etched the rest of the copper off there, and then I'll use this one, and we'll stick it on the base on the back of there, and that'll thicken it up. It'll be twice as thick then. I should be able to get rid of that warp, especially if I turn it backwards. It will cancel the warp out. Yeah. Now we've got a plan. Anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry about the focus, it's giving me a problem. But at least we've got a coil, two coils on circuit board for my delay line. And that's it for now.